up, killers? It is your final girl, Mel, and welcome to my killer podcast. Hey guys, thank you so much for joining me today. If you are new here, go ahead and hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and kill that bell for your girl if you enjoy this content. I am not only available on YouTube, but you can check me out on Instagram, Letterboxd, TikTok, Twitter, and Patreon. I am also a part of a Discord group called the Movie Room. I will link that below. This is mainly for buying, selling, trading, and general movie talk. It is a good time. It won't cost you a thing, but good times. And you have to read and approve the rules. But hit that link if you want to join that, because it is truly a good time and you'll meet some good people over there. Today, we are going to be doing my Letterboxd wrap up for December. I am so sorry this is very late, but I am trying to wrap up all of my 2021 videos in the month of January, and it's not working out very well for me. I believe my Letterboxd reviews for December is the last video that I need to do, so I'm going to do it right now for you, and I am going to try and make it not very long because these videos tend to be oobs long and they're a dread to edit. But also, a lot of the movies that you're going to see on this list for December show up in some of my other videos of my top 10 horrors and my physical media movie awards show, the Killer Movie Awards. I will link all of that below if you want to check out any of those videos. So those movies, I talked to them to death, so I'm not going to talk them to death on here. But I did watch some other things that are worth noting. All right, so obviously, one of the first things that I watched in December was Malignant, and you guys all know how I felt about that one. It was #1 for the year, so check it out if you missed it. The next movie I watched was Fat Man. I was super excited for this film. It has Walton Goggins in it, and I love him, and you know that he is an extremely underrated actor in the biz for me. I love all of the things that he's in. So if you guys don't know who he is, check out some of his filmography because he is pretty amazing. This movie was great. I gave it 3 stars and a heart. I did enjoy it. I wanted a little more action out of it though, and it did not succeed in having that. Next on the list, I did pop in Jingle All the Way. This is just a fun little Arnold Schwarzenegger movie for Christmas to watch. It's probably going to be a staple. And I felt like it was necessary to watch this one this year because all of them Turbo Man dolls popped up in Walmarts across the nation, and I even got my hands on one. I don't really want it, so if there's anybody out there that wants to trade me a Killer Clowns cotton candy buster gun for it, I will trade. Hit me. But I also gave this one 3 stars and a heart. I did really like it, but you know, it didn't age well. I don't know if there's a better version of this film either, because I think I watched this one on streaming and the quality was garbage. So I don't know. Maybe that has something to do with my rating on it, but I did like it. I do recommend it if you haven't seen it. The next film I checked out was Puka. This one was available on Hulu, I believe. This one was interesting. It is a Christmas watch. It is a Christmas horror. It is about a man who is kind of down and out in his career, and he takes on a job where he has to wear this costume, and then the company comes out with a plushie for this costume and sends it out to all the kids or whatever, and then shenanigans ensue from there. It did end up being kind of trippy in the end because it has kind of a twist ending, and I wasn't expecting it. I thought I had this one pegged in the end for exactly what I thought was going to happen, and it kind of surprised me. So I think that is part of the reason why this film got the 3 stars and a heart that it did, but definitely check it out. The next one I watched was Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. I know I probably should have watched this one for Thanksgiving, but I missed out on it. I wanted to watch it for Christmas, and it's just a heartwarming movie about friendship and love, and it's really touching, and it's also funny though, and you guys know how I love Steve Martin. He can do no wrong in my eyes, so check that one out. It's a good one. I gave it 4 stars because it deserves that. The next one I watched was Werewolves Within. I've been hearing a lot of people talk about this one, so I just wanted to make sure that I saw it. My physical media release was not that great. It was super hard to hear. I had to turn my TV like all the way up and I was still straining to hear it. But I did return it and get another one. However, I ended up renting it, I think, and watching it that way for this review. But I gave it 3 stars and a heart. It was entertaining. I don't know that I liked it as much as everyone else did. It wasn't quite as funny as everyone was making it out to be. It was kind of more of like a drama, I don't know, situation. And then you didn't really get to the good stuff until the end, but it was entertaining enough for me to recommend you watch it. I also watched The Grinch, the Illumination version of The Grinch, which I believe is the newest one. I absolutely love this version of The Grinch. This is probably my favorite version of The Grinch. I grew up in a time with the old classic animated version of The Grinch, and it was fine, but it was stylistically not my favorite. The Jim Carrey The Grinch, I feel 100% that is a horror movie. Because his rendition of The Grinch is fucking terrifying. But this one it's beautiful, it's charming, it's funny, and the soundtrack to this film is actually very good. So I highly recommend watching this one. I gave it 4 stars. I also, of course, watched Elf this year. I love Elf. It is a Christmas staple in my house. You know Elf. Everyone knows Elf. I got 4 stars. I love it. I also watched Deadly Friend, which is a Wes Craven film, in December. I was watching this in preparation for a video that I did with Sledgehammer Horror, which actually dropped this week. So go check that out on his channel. It's hella good time. I will link that video below for you guys. But that's why I watched this one. I do love this movie. This was actually a film from my childhood. It was, according to my momster, one of my favorites. And I would walk around the house going, BB, BB. I was a weird kid. Does that surprise you? Does it surprise anybody? I don't think it should, but I gave it 4 stars and a heart because I love this film. Next up, I did watch Die Hard. You know why? It's a Christmas movie. This is just your all-time action movie. When you think of an action movie, you think of Die Hard. This is true, testosterone-filled, gut punching, all the things that action movies should be. That is this. That's why it gets 5 stars, because this movie is the exact thing that it should be, and I feel like it is amazing. So welcome to the party, pal. Go to my Letterboxd and read my description for this movie. It's entertaining. All right, so next on the list is I did watch Krampus because I got that squishy Scream Factory 4K in the mail and I wanted to check it out. And I did, and I felt the exact same way about this film that I felt the first time I watched it. I found it entertaining, but was it great or anything special? Not really. I do recommend checking it out. It's a fun Christmas watch, a fun Christmas horror watch. It's not quite as gory as you would think it would be. Take that what you will. Of course, I watched National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. I had to. This is one of my favorite Christmas movies to watch at Christmas time. I gave it 4 stars. Check it out. Highly recommend it. The next film that I watched was Prisoners of the Ghostland. So I did not hate this movie as much as other people did. But I feel like I kind of went into this film knowing what it was, knowing it was a hot mess, but I was still entertained by it. You got to be entertained by Nicolas Cage, whether he's at his best or at his worst. He's still highly entertaining. So that is why I will watch all of his films. So I do recommend giving this movie a watch to formulate your own opinion about it. I enjoyed it. I had a good time with it. moving on. I did end up watching A Quiet Place 2. I watched this film in December because I was leading up to the Killer Movie Awards, and I had to watch some of the top tier movies to make sure that I wasn't missing something that needed to be in those Killer Movie Awards. And sure as shit, this one ended up in my top 10. It's a great movie. I had a lot of fun with it. It is better than the first one. It's one of those movies that breaks the mold and is actually better than the first one. So I gave it 4 stars and a heart. Highly recommend checking it out. All right, moving right along. The next film I checked out was The Deep House. I had been hearing about this movie from several different places, and I really wanted to check it out because the concept of this film is so badass. These people, they go on these adventures to scope out these really cool, mysterious places, and they found out about this one particular situation where there's a house deep underwater, and of course they wanted to go see it. And that to me is like one of the things I used to think about when I was a kid, you know, like diving down into a lake and finding like a boat or a ship or a house down there and then being able to swim through it. Like, did anybody else other than me always pretend like your house was full of water and you would swim to room? I actually used to do that when I was a kid. I would play that game, and it was always super fun and super interesting. And so the thought of having 2 people go down into this lake and swim around in this dark, creepy house where shenanigans ensue was awesome. It was an awesome idea for me. However, when I watched the movie, it was not well done. The story was weird and the script sucked. The way they filmed it was bad. I don't know. The story fell apart at the end for me. I gave this film 2 stars. I hate talking about movies that I didn't really like because I want to promote movies and physical media and going to the theaters. I don't want to not promote it, but I didn't appreciate this movie. I gave it 2 stars. It was a bummer because the idea was so exciting for me. So check it out if you want, but I'm not going to recommend it. And the last thing that I watched for the month of December was I did watch the TV show Hawkeye. So I'm not an avid Marvel fan. I don't watch all of the things. I just watch the things that I find interesting. And I particularly didn't find Hawkeye to be interesting, but I watched it anyway because somebody else was watching it. So I chose to watch it with them, and I did kind of like it. It was interesting to see this storyline. Hawkeye's not one of my faves. I did give it 3 stars and a heart. It was entertaining enough for me to recommend you guys checking it out if you like that kind of thing. So that's it. Those are the things that I checked out in the month of December. I hope you guys got some good movie recommendations for this. If there was something that I should have watched and didn't, hit me in the comments below and let me know what that is, and maybe I can check it out this month or next month. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today. I appreciate you guys so much. And if you would like to help support my channel, go ahead and hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and kill that bell for your girl, and share me with your friends. If you'd like to further help support me and my channel, log on over to my Patreon. We can have some fun over there if you so choose. Helps keep my dream alive and yourselves entertained and these beautiful lights on in the building. Also, join the Discord, the movie room. It's super fun. It's chill. We don't expect anything from you other than just to come hang out and have good times. So check us out. That link will be in the description below. But until the next time we gather, have a killer day. Peace.